Welcome back to another episode of the Bethesda Brothers podcast. I am the KingFanMan, joined as always with my partner in crime, Joey Caps Gaming. How you doing, Brother Joe?
King, I could be better, King. I could be better. How are you?
I'm doing great. Here in my new King's Corner. Wonderful, yes.
I love it. All the Fallout stuff behind you.
Fantastic. I know it. It's good to be here and good to be back doing these. I know we've done one before at the King's Corner, and this one might be a fiery one because we've got some stuff to talk about with Bethesda. I want to start with Starfield. Starfield just got a new update. A few things came out. Now the verified creators' creations, the achievements will not be turned off now if you get the verified creators' creation. So that's a good thing. There's also a new free vehicle, or I guess you'd call it a vehicle upgrade. It's got a missile launcher and it's all enclosed, and whoopee. And Starfield just hit 15 million players. But
that's good.
But the current players on Steam is the lowest of any Bethesda games. That's another thing. So, in other words, Fallout 4, Skyrim, all these others have more players than Starfield.
King, you could even look at new mods that are coming out, right, on Bethesda Nexus. On Nexus, rather. And I don't know if you're on that site all that much, but you have Skyrim, and they've come out. I want to get an accurate number, but people are just cranking out mods for Skyrim, and I know it's a little unfair, but they're cranking out basically 400 mods per week on Skyrim. They're cranking out 100 mods to 200 mods per week on Fallout 4. Same with Fallout New Vegas. Starfield, their newest IP, it's like 50 to 70 mods per week on a brand new game, on a game that does have console mods now. And it's getting like no one is interested in making mods for the game. I think that speaks absolute volumes just from the PC community alone of how people really feel about it. I know somebody who loved Starfield from the beginning, loved it, was looking forward to the DLC. It took them almost a year for this DLC to come out. Fallout 4, they were much quicker. The turnaround was much faster, as we know. But Starfield, it took them so dang long to come out with this DLC. And I haven't played it, so I really can't say. But he said it just fell flat, and he's uninterested in playing it now. He's not interested at all. And this is coming from somebody who absolutely loved Starfield. He loved the game. He put in so many hours into it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Starfield apologists, but at the same, but now this was supposed to be their Far Harbor. Far Harbor, some people think, saved Fallout 4. This was supposed to be their Far Harbor, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It got such a negative reception. Now, I'm a little concerned with Bethesda Game Studios specifically as a whole. I'm scared that Microsoft has owned this company for for 4 years, almost 5 years now. Outside of working on 76 and Elder Scrolls Online, we haven't received anything from either franchise. As far as the games go,
Starfield.
Not even a remaster.
Starfield.
Besides just Starfield. But You're sitting on Elder Scrolls and Fallout. We haven't received anything. And there's no plans to do so anyway. Phil Spencer, in a recent interview, was saying, hey, we're not. Somebody asked him the question of, "Are you working on a Starfield game, a Fallout game alongside?"
Yeah.
the TV show. They're not. He said no, it would be too much. So what?
That cannot be true. I'm not even going to
I hope
believe
it's
that.
not true. I
I'm not
hope.
even going to believe that. No.
I hope it's not true.
Well,
But they're saying it, and it doesn't make you feel good.
well, let's put Starfield in perspective for a minute. And we were talking about this before the podcast. Supposedly 250 people about are working on Starfield.
Yeah.
About 100 people worked on Fallout 4. We got all of the DLC of Fallout 4 in about 9 months. That means Automatron, Vault 88, all the workshop stuff, Far Harbor, and Nuka World. All of that in 9 months. What did we get with Starfield? What did we get with Starfield? We got city maps, we got the Rev 8, and we got one DLC. We got one DLC that fell flat. Now, let me give you a quote from Phil Spencer. He said, well, maybe we should have waited on the expansion. Well, what would that have helped? What would that have helped? And then he also said Microsoft does not mandate the release of expansions for every game. This was in this same interview. Does that mean we're not going to get any more DLC for Starfield?
Yeah, I just think interest is really at an all-time low.
So my question is, are they just done with Starfield? Are they, I mean, Joe, couldn't they have done more this year to save Starfield? I mean, look what we got with Fallout 4 in 9 months with less people.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it? What has changed? I know some of the personnel have changed. I know obviously Microsoft buying Bethesda has changed. But have we forever gone away from what Bethesda was? Now we're sitting here at the end of the year. We don't even know if anything is planned for Starfield. Nothing. We have no idea. Shouldn't they at least be hyping something? If they have plans for something, shouldn't they at least be hyping something to keep people interested in the game? Who is running the marketing department in Bethesda? Y'all know I've had problems with the marketing department for a long time. But they're not even trying to save the game, it seems, in my mind.
You know, King, it's sad. Me, you, Skullsy, I'm talking years ago, 6 years ago. Dom, we would hop on, each other's channels and talk about Starfield and what it could be and when it's going to come out, and fantasize about what it could be. Now, years later, it's out for a year. And who would have thought that Bethesda would not have handled it with the TLC that it needed? They dropped the ball with it. They dropped the ball with this game, and it's a shame. It does have its hardcore fans, but it just seems that number is low, and those are more so people, as I said earlier, either apologists or those are people that just want to be in the minority and think, oh, this game's great. It's okay. Like, it's fine. It's a fine game. But now all of a sudden, people who I pre-ordered it, right? So I got like the season pass and stuff. So I got all that. I didn't have to buy the season pass later or anything. But that season pass is only good for the DLC. That was
that
it.
One DLC.
Yeah, just that one DLC. So I guess it wasn't.
You mean you got the DLC free and you still hadn't even played it?
Yeah.
That shows you
Yeah,
about
yeah.
where we are
Well,
in Starfield.
yeah, it's for other reasons, but yeah, what was I was trying to make a point.
I messed you
Totally
up. I'm
forgot.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's just it's this deal. So okay, so now you have this other new DLC maybe that you could potentially be working on. Like maybe be working on. We have no idea if you are or not. You're not saying anything. And now you're going to ask people after this one falling flat. Now you're going to ask people to spend money on DLC after the game fell a little flat and the DLC fell totally flat. Now you're going to ask for money. I, I don't know how well that's going to go over. Right. So I wouldn't be shocked if they're
And how much money are they going to be asking?
potential probably 30, $40.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if they put the whole thing on ice and just said we have these two wonderful IPs and Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout. Let's just focus on that right now. Starfield was not as successful as either of those. Not even close. It wasn't close. More people are playing Fallout New Vegas than Starfield right now. That's pathetic.
But
New
think it.
Vegas is almost 15 years old.
But think, and that's what's so sad, Joe. Think about how Starfield did in its sales. It did great in sales. Did
Yeah.
fabulous in sales.
Yeah.
It was the retention of players that's the problem.
Mhm.
And again, that's my point. What are they doing with 5 studios? Bethesda has expanded, but yet we're getting less than we used to get. How are we getting less now than we used to get? And they've not doubled, they've not tripled, they've more than quadrupled since Skyrim. You realize that?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Even since Fallout 4, they've more than quadrupled in numbers. But what are we getting out of it?
Now, there's no way this is true.
Uh oh, what'd you find?
I'm looking up how much Starfield made on release day.
Yeah.
All right, this is in 2023. Starfield was the third highest grossing game in 2023, which
Mm
is great.
hmm. Mm hmm.
235 million.
Yeah.
Okay,
I knew it did.
I have to be accurate though.
I knew
How
it did
much?
great.
Hold on. Fallout 4. I mean, but Fallout 4 made 750. Now, I within the first 24 hours of
Mm hmm.
its launch. Now, obviously, you have Game Pass in there, which like I get it. You have Game Pass, so some people get it for free. So 235 is actually really good considering.
It was
But
first day Game Pass, yeah.
yeah, but it's and I know it's a new IP, and I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying what Bethesda's used to is almost $1 billion within a day. That's not what they earned in for Starfield.
Yeah.
Not even close. It's a shame. It stinks, you know. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe they're just Microsoft is just saying, "Hey, we need Fallout content. We need Elder Scrolls content. Let's
I
get to
got
it."
I got a question. Maybe it's this. Since COVID, we've got a lot of people that don't want, and this is the truth. Now, this is just the truth, because in fact, we just had a 1 day strike over this. If you didn't notice, Bethesda just had a 1 day
I know.
strike over some of this. We've got a lot of people that don't even want to come into work anymore. They want to do everything from home.
Yeah.
Could part of the problem be at Bethesda that since COVID, things aren't the way they used to be? People are wanting to work from home. They're not coming to work. It's just not the same thing anymore. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I'm just asking.
If working from home is an issue,
Yeah.
then how come Baldur's Gate 3 was awesome? It's one of
But
the
Joe, something has changed at Bethesda. You have to admit
it's
something.
for sure, for
Then
sure.
what
But
is it?
if other game studios are making good games,
Yeah.
how can we say that, oh, working from home is hurting them
Yeah.
when these other studios are making good games? Like, it's when these these companies, they're making good games. What, Hogwarts was on that list. Um, Star Wars was on that list of highest grossing games in 2023. There were some good games in that year, and they all faced the same stuff.
Will we have to go back then and say that the Microsoft purchase of Bethesda was a very bad thing?
If
Because
we
if you go back and look, how many people have left Bethesda
Yeah,
since the Microsoft purchase?
I know.
Since
I know.
around that time, I mean, right before and after, there has been a mass exodus from Bethesda. And if you say that has not hurt Bethesda, then I mean, we've got I can just start naming like Nate Perkapile, Jeff Gardner. I mean,
That's the one. Nate, he was a part of building the worlds
yeah,
in their games.
yes,
He built Diamond City.
absolutely.
Nate Perkapile, he built Diamond City.
But I mean that huge guys, and I don't mean they're huge. You know what I mean.
I know what you're
But we
saying.
could
Yeah,
just keep naming and keep
Pete,
naming.
Pete Hines left.
Yeah,
Pete Hines, and I know he was more of the communications
the
guy and
PR guy.
PR
Yeah,
side, but still, he left. What does that mean? That guy's been connected the company for forever.
yep.
Then all of a sudden he goes. What is it? So it's is Todd Howard, is he working on too much stuff? Too many things? He has his hands in on everything.
Yeah, we've already said that.
The Indiana Jones game. So is that what's affecting all this? Todd Howard was a part of some really great games.
Well,
He really was.
Joe, Todd is not actually working on the games
I
anymore. He's
know. I know.
overseeing all these things.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, then you
That's what
don't
I'm
have your
saying.
Nate Perkapiles and all those guys that are doing it. Then who's doing it? Todd Howard's not doing it.
I know.
You've
That's what
lost
I'm saying.
you've lost who Bethesda is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you you can't even say, oh, have Obsidian make a new Fallout game. You can't even say that because they're
No,
no
Obsidian's
one's
not
there.
Obsidian anymore. No,
No one's there. No one's
Obsidian's not
there.
Obsidian anymore.
So, but we see these really great talented modders. Fallout London was good. You're telling me that there isn't a studio out there who can make a really great Fallout game? Or we have to see what happens with Elder Scrolls 6 because that's what they're working on.
Yeah.
And we have to see what happens. I think they're going to release that on PlayStation. I think they want to absolutely capitalize on that. And I think that's going to come out sooner than we expected. I really do, because Starfield just has a bad rep.
We have to admit though that Bethesda back in the day was something very special. And I'm talking about
Of course it
before
was.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
They were that privately owned company, and they stayed that for so long.
you had 3 Fallout games released from them in the span of 10 years. You also had 4, if you want to count the Obsidian one. You
Yeah.
had 4 that came out in the span of that 10 years. That's Fallout 3 in 2008, Fallout 4 in 15, obviously New Vegas in 2010, 76 in 2018. And we haven't had a new Fallout game in 6 years. A new Elder Scrolls game since 2011. That's pathetic. I know Elder Scrolls Online exists. Like I get it, but that's a different fan base.
Yep.
It's different. It's different.
A lot of things changed, Joe. We had something very, very, very special there for a short time.
For like 15 years,
Yeah.
almost 20 years,
Yep.
almost 20. It was 16, I guess.
This is a very sad podcast, isn't it?
It is sad. It is sad. But you hope that all you could do is just hope at this point, right? The New York Yankees. The New York Yankees. One of their players, Juan Soto, is a free agent. He's available as a free agent. And he's the most sought after free agent this year. He's just an incredible ball player. He's one of the best offensive players that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I've seen a lot of them. I've seen some guys. I'm only 32, so I didn't see Mickey Mantle play. I didn't see the guys from in the 70s play.
I didn't see Mickey Mantle either. I'm not that old. Okay.
Yeah, but I've seen Alex Rodriguez play, Albert Pujols play. I've seen those guys play. Soto's better. And
Pujols, when he was on the Cardinals, that was awesome. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Pujols, he was great. So the King, honestly, I forgot my point. I really had something
I cannot interrupt you. I hate when I interrupt you like that.
Hey, I don't think it was that. I just think I lost my train of thought. I forgot my point. I really had something.
I think you was talking about the Yankees had something special then, and maybe they're coming back to be something special again. Was that it?
Oh, yeah. It was just,
there you go.
It was just, it's making me nervous because they can't let this kid go. Microsoft has to capitalize on Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I've said this in previous podcasts. Just like how Morrowind saved BGS or Bethesda as a whole, Elder Scrolls 6 has to do the same. Maybe not save them, but restore their reputation.
Yeah.
It has to do that. They have to do that. And if it doesn't do that, it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary. It's like you said, that Bethesda Game Studios magic it just isn't. It's not there.
Well, if the Elder Scrolls does like Starfield has done, then the magic is gone.
That's why I think they know that. I don't think it's gonna do that. It's gonna be. I think with Elder Scrolls 6, it's going to be familiar. That's one thing Starfield had something going against it. It wasn't familiar. It wasn't familiar. Elder Scrolls is going to be familiar. Fallout is familiar.
Let's maybe end this way. And see, I always like to be positive. They have such a chance right now with the Fallout TV show being such a hit. Hopefully, they're letting someone else do a Fallout right now. Hopefully, we that Oblivion remake is real. Hopefully, that Fallout 3 remake is real. Those are done in other studios. Hopefully, those are coming. Hopefully those 250 people are still working on Starfield and they've got something incredible that is coming. I have heard some rumblings about another DLC that sounds cool, the ideas on it. And then the Elder Scrolls being better than anything we can imagine with ships that you can customize. I mean, we could come into a new age of Bethesda magic all around with Fallouts and remakes, and it could be wonderful, or it could be gone forever. I think we're right at the crossroads, and we're going
That's
to learn where we're at.
that's what I'm saying. Elder Scrolls has to save this thing. I think Starfield is too far gone. I don't think it's going to save it.
Well,
It has to be Elder Scrolls 6. We'll see.
I think it's a shame if they give up on Starfield, though. I really do. It's such a shame if they give up on it. But
They just can't come at you with these half-baked ideas for Starfield.
no, I agree.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like that's like I've heard people say about the DLC.
Well, this first year was stupid. They didn't do anything.
It was almost like they should have delayed the game
Yeah.
a full year and come out with all this stuff at launch.
I mean, no, really, the Rev 8 was great.
Yeah.
The DLC wasn't even that bad. I think what it was is when it all boils down to it, the DLC should have been a little bit bigger and had more features. But when you tell people that this is the one big DLC for the end of the year, and you've played other BGS stuff, and this DLC is not as good, smaller, and blander than other DLCs that you've played when they've made 3 and 4 of it in a year, then come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this DLC would have been fine if there would have been another DLC or two that they would have given us.
I know.
They didn't give us enough. They're not doing enough. They're not promoting enough. They're not. It's like they're not excited about their own game.
That's what I'm saying. It just wouldn't shock me if they moved on.
I know it. Well, Joseph, it's been great to be with you.
Absolutely, King. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on here and just spend time talking Bethesda. I don't do it enough, so I really appreciate having the opportunity to do it together. And I appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. I love you, brother. If y'all have not subscribed to Joey Caps, y'all do it right now. If y'all love baseball, he has got a wonderful baseball channel. He just knocks it out of the park. It's called The Shift. And the link to both of his channels are going to be down in the description below. So y'all go check them out. And of course, if you're not subscribed to me, what are you doing? And we both have Patreons as well. So if you'd like to support us, we will take all the support that you can give us. He is Joey Caps. I am the KingFanMan. We will see you next time. Bye, guys.